Obama is back on the campaign trail and he's making the case against Donald Trump. But before his guest feature in Pennsylvania, Obama made a surprise visit to Kamala Harris's campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh. It was there that he got candid, maybe a little too candid if you are in the vice president's inner circle tonight. He warned that Harris is underperforming him with black voters, and he had a message specifically for black men.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
What you thought you was doing, Barack Obama? Boy, you done stepped out there. All you did was piss black men off, bruh. All you did was piss black men off. Why y'all think the American people, why y'all think the Democrat Party own black folk?
All right, this message is to former President Barack Obama. The congregation of black men does not need your advice or your guidance on who to vote for, especially when you showed your true character and your true colors when you were the president. When you were the president, last time I recall, you had the House, you had the Senate, and you had the executive branch for 2 years. You could have passed anything, any legislation that would have helped black men in the black community. But I wonder, what did you choose to make your main focal point? The LGTV community.
The motherfucker played in our face for 8 years, then y'all came on a year after he was out of the presidency. The dude asked him, why you didn't do nothing for black people? The motherfucker said, I can't do nothing for just a certain group of people. But you did do something for a certain group of people, sir. The LGBT community is a certain group of people that you did shit for. The immigrants is a certain group of people you created shit for. All you did for black people was take, and give to other fucking groups of people.
Barack. As a native of Chicago that watched your policies not do a single thing for black people, not anything for crime, not anything for a better way of living, it is insulting that you decided to get up here and pander us as black men for not voting for Kamala Harris. You are only voting for Kamala yourself because you have no choice. We both know that deep down inside, you wanted the open convention, but the optics didn't look good. We also both know that there were way better candidates that you guys could have went with for president, but you guys didn't. And so now they bring you out, the big guns, because they need you to come up here and clean up this mess. Because you know what? You are a well-spoken man. Because I can tell you right now that your nominee is not. I can tell you that your nominee doesn't answer questions. Your nominee stutters all the time, and she spits out word salads. And you expect for us to vote for her. I'm black. I'm not stupid.
Obama. Who the hell are you, man? Who the hell are you? Talking to brothers like you somebody's daddy. Like we can't think for ourselves. And I need to put the word out about you brothers who were standing there with him as he, talks down on men, black men in particular. Y'all should have left. I don't even know why y'all stood there and listened to that foolishness. No. And let me say this too, Mr. Obama. I bet you wouldn't go and talk to black men in mega spaces like that. I tell you that.
Oh, damn, Obama. Welcome back to Breakdown Friday. Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carlton Jones, and here we got to put our 2 cents in as well. Barack Hussein Obama then set the internet on fire, as you can see in the clip when he showed up to one of the Democratic events and basically waved his finger at black men and told us that if we don't vote for Kamala, then we don't like women and we're misogynistic and we are trying to help bring in racism and all these other things, basically admonishing black men. And it's a lot of layers to all these things here, as well as we have Kamala Harris's plan for black men. Vice President Harris would deliver for black men. She would provide the tools to black men to build wealth, support their families, and lead in their communities. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, man, y'all already know how we do this. We better go ahead and get in, break this thing on down. Of course, we're not surface level, so this is going to be more than emotional for us because we're really going to put some thought into what we're saying. So, PC, man, you got a hat on. But Pat got a hat on too, but you got a gray hat on. So, man, what's your thoughts on what Obama is saying, but also the reaction from not only black men, but both of y'all on TikTok like I am, and both of y'all on social media like I am. So I'm sure you've seen some of the reactions from black women. Oh, we're gonna bring you up to speed then, Pat. I'm sure PC have. If not, we're gonna bring you up to speed. But what are your thoughts on what Barack Obama said and just the atmosphere around his statements?
Well, I mean, I think the brothers in the first part in the clip that you shared, I think they exposed and expressed a lot of it. When I first heard it, it didn't sound as bad as when I saw it. I heard it listening to another podcast, and their reaction to it. But when I actually saw it, I was like, God damn.
Oh, damn.
I said, yo, my first response would be like, if I was in the room, I would have lost my job that day. I would have lost my job. Who are you talking to? He went from being on the Mount Rushmore of black leaders. People would put shirts with him and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and pick another
black savior no more.
Put Michael Jordan or something up there. He ain't up there no more. He went from that to Negro. Who are you talking to?
Right. Get your narrow ass down.
Yeah, people called him he's been called everything from high yeller to tether. He's been called everything. And the wild part about this is black men have, and this I give the black manosphere a lot of credit for this, but I also just think that brothers have been having these conversations for a long time, and we just needed like to see what it looked like for one man to put his nuts down. And when you had brothers putting their nuts down on social media, and brothers like, yeah, I've been feeling like that. Like when I really started getting into these conversations, and my phone started blowing up from brothers like, man, let me tell you about this experience. And it led to me counseling thousands of brothers on this particular type of thing. So to see him say that in the way he said, in the manner he said it, was like the epitome of disrespect for black men. And the responses, it even angered a lot of sisters.
Yep.
Because, a lot of sisters, especially on, like you said, on TikTok, basically saw it as being like, who you, because if you're a black woman, yes.
Joe Biden did this.
Yeah.
And Obama did this.
Yeah. So, but what he did was he created a situation and circumstance that, even people who planned on sitting out might just pull up at the polls and vote for Trump. Because voting for Trump now is not necessarily a support of Trump. It's really a big FU to the Democratic Party. And that's the FU vote right now to the Democratic Party, is a vote for Trump. Not even trying to pawn off on, voting for Jill Stein or the Green Party or
Straight to Trump.
Dr. Cornel West, his independent party, whatever. Nobody, no. Now you put it in a lot of brothers' craw because this is the epitome and challenge of the man's manhood. When you do things, when you come at them like this. Now, it's really interesting about this, and I know we'll probably talk more about this later on, but I don't think he wanted to be there. And one of the people that was responding, I think he's following orders. I think he just, a loyal soldier of the Democratic Party, which, should tell black people enough, because he's not loyal to black people. He's loyal to the party, which, so don't tell me that, oh, he's black. I don't want to hear that shit. When somebody is out here and they put things before being black. Yeah, I see you, Joe.
It's all good. Do you think?
So, but he, that when I saw that and him struggling with his words, I said, nah, this ain't what it looked like. Yeah. He's doing a finger wagging, but people need to remember something. Kamala Harris was not his choice. He wanted and truth be told, there has been a lot of rumors and speculation, so I could say allegedly, due to the decaying, mental health, obviously decaying mental health and condition of the current president, Joe Biden, there was a lot of speculation as to him stepping down and people asking him to step down. And rumors were people of the Obama camp were asking him to step down because they knew behind closed doors what his condition was. Now I'm saying allegedly. So, because, that's just speculation based on, what's been spread. Now, it all came to a head during that disastrous presidential debate. What was it, back in June?
Yeah.
When the whole country saw, because his stock prices went down. It's like, you know what I'm saying? His approval rating, all that went down because people lost faith in him. Nobody outside of the Clintons and Dick Cheney and George Soros was pulling for Kamala Harris to be in that position. And they tied up all the money, all the campaign money, so that only she would be the one eligible to receive it. Anybody else would have to generate their own campaign money. No other candidate really wanted to run with only 4 months to go. 3 months to go, was it 3-4 months to go for the election? No other candidate wanted to do that. But the Obamas still wanted a presidential convention, a convention at the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? They wanted a convention to actually have people campaigning to win delegates in the convention, them along with Nancy Pelosi, allegedly. Now, apparently Obama lost. Maxine Waters came out publicly and said he lost and he needed to get over it because Kamala Harris was their choice. And so when you see him do this, I'll call Barack Obama a lot of things, but stupid and not being able to read the room are not one or two of them. They're not one of them, neither one of them. I'm not sure he didn't purposefully do this because the Democratic Party plays on identity politics more than tangibles, more than policy. They play on identity politics. So what better way to sabotage this Kamala run out there and use identity politics to insult the one group you really need to jump on board and do this, and do it in such a way that you will leave so much of a negative taste in the mouths of brothers that they're starting to wear MAGA hats.
That's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. Like,
I land my plane.
Sabotage. I mean, if a coup could happen, sabotage could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, but that's an interesting take, though.
Look at how late in the game he came out to start talking for her.
Yeah.
Now, I know that they're desperate, but look at how late in the game he came out. They got like a month to go. What was she saying the other day? 32. We have 32. Magic Johnson's number is 32. We
Yep.
have 32 days. We have 32 seconds so they get the teleprompter running. 32.
Hey. You know what's interesting though? This whole campaign is ran on the identity politics of voting for the black person, voting for the black person, voting for the black person, especially if you're black. Because in a sense, Obama basically said the same thing Joe Biden said: if you don't vote for Kamala, you ain't black. But he said it directly to black men in a sense, right? But it's all about identity politics. But the actual black person who was an actual, like, full-on black, like, ain't no question in Cornel West's race. Like, don't nobody care to vote for him. But of course, we know he's not a part of either the Democratic or the Republican machine, so he's not gonna get the shine. But the fact that a lot of people are leaning on, well, I'm just voting for this person because they're black, but there's an actual black person that their race is not in question at all and ain't getting no love for nobody. That's just another interesting piece as well. So if we're gonna finger wag, you know, if we're gonna play the identity politics. But you know, Pat, man, what are your thoughts on what Obama said? Because I know is this your first time seeing the video?
Yeah, this is my first time seeing it.
So what are your thoughts on what Obama is saying, and also the backlash that he's getting from black men and others that you've seen?
Well, my first thought is it's interesting that they called in somebody that's not a black American to attack black Americans for not supporting somebody that's not a black American. I just thought that was cute because we, you know, like in all of this, I think Obama has forgotten, and I'm still processing PC's take because there was something. I agree. Obama is very, very good at reading rooms, like being able to read the room and present what people want to hear is essentially what made him president. That and having a black wife.
Mm-hmm.
I think what has been lost in all of the Obama worship is the fact that the core of Obama's popularity was in fact his wife.
Yeah.
So even calling him out was just a weird play because he's never really had leverage with the black community to do what he was asked to do. Now I do agree with PC on that. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm going off what PC said, but he did look uncomfortable while he was standing up there. And I don't think that he really cares for Kamala Harris. Just based off the fact of how long it took him to finally endorse her.
I don't think a lot of people care for Kamala Harris, but I think most of them are on the tip of she's better than Trump.
Right. And so that's where, like, what PC said is what I was originally thinking as the clip played was before now, black people were apathetic. Like, you've just galvanized the black population. And the question becomes, galvanize them to do what? And I think the Democrats have forgotten as a whole, Trump didn't beat Hillary because he was better than Hillary. He beat Hillary because the Democrats had pissed off so many people that Trump became the f you vote.
Yeah.
Y'all just did it again.
Yeah. Like,
you literally just repeated. You just did the exact same thing all over again. You just took a situation where it was like both of them are bad. I'm just not going to participate, which is better for Democrats. In this case, we know lower voter turnout typically means better conservative results. But in this case, you'd rather lose off low voter turnout than lose because everybody came out and they just didn't vote for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the landslide that would give whoever wins the type of public mandate to say, no, the people want me to enact all of my policies. But I think a few interesting things happened. The first was he sat there as if he was pondering something. know what I'm saying? Like the body language and stuff, like he was in deep philosophical thought about what he was about to say. And I think there may have been like some trepidation there, maybe some like, I don't know if this is a good thing to say, but they told me to give it a shot, and I didn't really grow up around black people, so let's just see how this goes. I don't know what it was. That's me ad-libbing his thoughts. But he was like seriously like Malcolm X pondering. Why wasn't he pondering why black men are not supporting Kamala and then leaving that as an open question? Like, why did he ask the rhetorical question and then go on to answer it by making an assumption based off a group of people that he is unfamiliar with?
Because he did have to learn how to be black.
Yeah, like let's remember now. Yeah, like this man, he is not a black American man.
Right.
So, not by culture or by biology. So, for him to sit up there and say, it makes me think you guys don't want to see black women. Like, to me, that statement alone show how out of touch he was when black men are the most egalitarian men on the face of the planet.
And been voting at least a 92% for the Democrats forever. So shut up, boy.
We ain't even got to get into the political side, although that's a great point. But just to keep it based on, because people are saying men have a problem with women. Men may, in general, maybe, I don't know how other races feel. Black men, it's proven, it's in the research, it's there in the social studies. Black men do not have a problem with black women being in leadership positions. Nope. We see it played out in our households. We see it played out in our communities. We see it played out in our organizations. Black men do not have a problem allowing women to take a leadership role. That is not something that is inherent to our culture.
Black women will have leadership roles in all male organizations. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, black women run most of the black organizations that employ black men. Like, so the statement was just so far out of touch with the reality of the black community. And we're not talking about, because everybody like to hyperfixate on the manosphere and the red pill and all this. We're talking about, that's a small subset of black men. We're talking about the vast majority of black men that don't have a problem with honey-do list. Like, it's impossible for a man to have a problem with a woman if he's okay with a honey-do list.
Right.
Like it's oxymoronic. Almost all black men, my generation and above, were raised to praise their mother. And you know, the dude that had sex with her to create you, he might be cool, he might not be. But your mom is where it's at. Where is this animosity, this alleged animosity for black women coming from in the black community? It seems manufactured instead of being based off anything real. Last point I'm gonna make, because there's a lot to talk about here. Obviously, my mind was like all over the place. So we look at the numbers, right? And I got them pulled up. Because they was on I think it was CNN. And Pink Book Lessons did a video on it. And I was happy that she did a video on it, but I was also upset she did a video on it, because I be trying to have us present information first. But she dropped too quick. Anyways,
she do like 3.
Yeah, like she just be pumping them out. I'll find something and be like, all right, we gonna do this, and then boom, boom, boom. And then like 3 days later, she got 4 videos out. But anyways, black men on the whole are at a plus 54 when it comes to Kamala Harris. They were at a plus 85 when it came to Obama. We're talking about polling percentage points, right? Hillary Clinton was at a 71. So even she was 2 times higher than Kamala Harris. That is what I want to focus on. You can't say that there's a problem between black men and women when we supported a woman. Now, if you want to say specifically black woman, you got to make that make sense given what we see in the community. So, but then we say plus 85 with Obama, plus 71 with Clinton, plus 69 with Biden, plus 54 with Harris. That is a steady decline from 2012 to 2024. That is something that needs to be addressed on a systemic level. Black men have been moving away from the Democratic Party since Obama. Ask the question why. Then we moved to black women. Black women were at a plus 93 for Obama, a plus 93 for Clinton in 2016, a plus 85 for Biden in 2020, and a plus 71 for 2024. Now, the point of measure here is that's almost a 20-point drop for black women when it comes to Kamala Harris. Why are black women not being talked about for their lack of support?
White women, Hispanic women, why they're not being talked about for their lack of support historically in Democratic elections?
Shoot, go across the board, everybody.
I mean, so this is so. Of course, you know me. So when I first saw it, of course, you know I was cussing. No, I was like, "Who you think you talking to? Sit your narrow ass down," you know. But you know that's past, and I've had more times to look at the clip and put thought into it and just really sit down and wrap my mind around it. And so, for one, we are not stupid. So, black men, but a lot of voters are not stupid. It's a lot of dummies out there, but it's a lot of black voters, a lot of voters, period, who are not dumb, because the idea is to manipulate us or to shame us into voting for Kamala Harris. We're going to focus on the woman issue and the race issue versus the performance issue, because black men are saying that we're not going to vote Democrat because of the lack of performance. So if we hire a plumber and the plumber comes into our home and the plumber isn't fixing anything, if I have a chance to choose another plumber, why wouldn't I choose another plumber? My problem with the Democratic Party is, instead of listening to black men and properly responding, but listening to properly respond, the Democrats are listening to respond in a way to say, I want my desired result. Well, if you want a desired result, well, won't you actually be real politicians and stop being politricians and trying to shame us, manipulate us into vote, and actually do what you say you're going to do? If you want this, if you want the votes of these people, you have to do the bidding for these people. The votes have to be earned. We're not voting for we're not voting for anybody just to vote for them. But now, well, before this Obama thing, now, like I agree with both of you, you're going to get a lot of FU votes. And it's your fault, Democratic Party. Yeah, y'all, we back on the Democratic Party. We back on it. But it's your fault, Democratic Party, because the finger wagging is unacceptable. Obama, you don't hold no clout like that in the real streets, in the community. You don't hold no clout like that outside of the bougie people, right? Outside of people who don't know no better, outside of the people who are zombie Democratic supporters, you don't hold no weight like that. So your finger wagging doesn't matter. Your finger wagging is hurting your candidate. But interesting point PC made. What if Buddy did that on purpose, just to sabotage the campaign? Now, hey, now, if he did that, I ain't really mad at him. I ain't really mad at him too much. But watch your mouth, but I get the plan. But no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I'm still mulling that over because this is my first time seeing it.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of, like, I could see that. That's a brilliant angle that PC presented.
It is
that he's doing that intentionally.
Yeah.
I think it potentially has a play for a downside, though, as far as the Democratic Party as a whole.
Yeah.
But if it's his way of putting his middle finger up to the party.
Well, because even building on that, we could very well, and of course, this is all speculation, but we could very well see the Democratic Party at war with itself.
Oh yeah, we're
It is.
seeing that.
You
Yeah,
know,
we're
ready to
seeing that.
ready to implode on itself because Joe Biden was forcefully removed from his position as the new candidate, as the Democratic candidate for president. He was removed against his will. He didn't want to get that up. Let's all be honest. And I don't care if Joe Biden had one brain cell left. He didn't want to give that up. And that's Obama's man. And like you said, it took so long for him to endorse her, and now he's her. Now he her guard dog.
I think.
Nah, go ahead, Pat.
I think Joe. I think once Joe committed to running again, he was committed to running again.
Right.
I think at the start of his first term, he did not want a second term. But the Democratic Party has been at odds with itself since Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump in 2016.
Yeah.
They have not recovered as a party. They're still very much broken and split apart. And that's partly because they have too many banners under one roof. They need to just allow people to leave and develop a third party because they can't please everybody. But what you just said, it triggered the thing that I wanted to say as well, which was that not only did they kick Joe Biden out in a very distasteful way, but then they're trying to force feed somebody that has already been rejected back down our throats. I think the Democratic Party has just made about as many. Look, the Democratic Party is handling this about as well as the WNBA players have handled Caitlin.
Hey, on point. I've been thinking about that for the longest. We probably had a conversation about that, but I've definitely had that same thought that they are literally handling this election the same way the WNBA has handled their whole existence as far as the media marketing, right? Because think about it with this. And for the Democratic Party, it's race, feelings, and morals over performance. You're going to vote for us because if you don't, you're going to usher in tyranny and racism. And they're trying to take everything from you, Black people. I want Black people to actually take a look at the Democratic policies thoroughly. A lot of the rhetoric that the Democratic Party is giving to us, it's more government, more government in your lives, more government ruling your lives, more government controlling this in your lives. And the Republican Party is saying less government. But the narratives from the Democratic Party is the Republican parties are trying to take your rights, your liberties away from you. And it's like, well, I get it. You're supposed to say that. But us as voters are supposed to have an objective view and look at both parties and say, well, first of all, both of y'all parties are trash. But second of all, both of you have things in there, especially for the Black community, that won't necessarily be advantageous for the Black community. Hence this new Kamala Harris plan that had just came out at the 23rd hour. And like Pat said in the conversation we had another day, came out at the last minute. Like, I'm just hearing about Kamala Harris's plans specifically for Black men, just hearing about it this week. That's what happened to have the document. But it's a lot of ambiguous language in this document. But this is that we keep, I got to write that down, but this is that we keep talking about, though. This is what we keep talking about. We talked about this in the when we broke down Trump's platinum plan. We talked about this when we broke down Ice Cube's plan for Black America. It was another document. It was somebody else with a plan for Black people. But one consistent thing that we're seeing when we're breaking down these plans for specific groups, whether it's Black people, Black men, or Black women, is a lot of ambiguous language and a lot of we and us. And it's not a lot of just for Black men. So let me share my screen. Hold on. Let me get this. Let me get it right.
Well, why are you doing that, Joe?
Here we go. Go ahead.
Oh no, okay, no, we can jump on this.
You go ahead and say your piece real quick.
No, I was because I'm thinking about all the things you were talking about, and you were talking about the democratic process at one point. And it's amazing that the group that's talking about, they're here to save democracy were the main ones that violated it. And the fact y'all even got me talking politics is crazy because y'all already know how I was on these topics a few years ago. But now that I'm into it. So you have a primary set up so that the American people can choose who they want to be their candidates. And this woman was able to obfuscate all of those things, and just immediately pull up into the pole position. And then, the sickness of black people, man, I don't get how black people can be this excited about somebody you didn't know was running prior to the middle of July. You know what I'm saying? In terms of all these fans that are out here acting wild and crazy in the streets. But black men have been the whipping boys of everybody for the last 30 to 40 years. And it's amazing, right? Because I pointed this out, and I used to point this out over a decade ago on social media. Like, why do y'all always feel comfortable talking to black men any type of way and thinking that you can sort of bully us or shame us into a position just because? And it always bothered me because back then a lot of brothers wasn't standing on their own square. They would do whatever it took to shut her up, and that's literally what it was. Because the majority of the time it was black women. I really got heated when the LGBTQ started coming after black men. I'm like, now we're gonna draw the line right here, because this is something that we can't allow as black men. If we ever want to be shepherds or leaders or seen as leaders in our community, we can't allow people to come in and impose their will on us, and then we get painted into a corner where we can't do things that we can't perform.
Right.
So
black men we have to stand up. We have to stop being soft. We have to stop just letting people dump on us like that. Like the reason why they're doing it, one of the reasons why, because we let them.
Well, but a lot of that has changed over the last few years. I'm not going to speak specifics, but what you see right now is a culmination. It's like a building of momentum that has been going on for the last few years, where black men slowly but surely have been addressing these matters and taking their position in society. And now that we are in a position where we can wield some power, we're doing it. Voting is the whole concept. And I saw a sister speak on this earlier today, and she was so on point. She said, "When did my ancestors die for me to become a Democrat?" I thought that was perfect.
But that is a great statement, because that's a lot of the rhetoric from the left is our ancestors died for us to vote. Yeah, to vote, period. Not vote Democrat or for specific candidates that you like because you like them.
Oh no, it's to have the right to vote. And
I get that. Right. That's what I'm saying. Not to have our votes directed by others.
Right, but abstaining from voting is taking part in the political process, because it's your protest.
Right. So, I can do whatever I want, but you will not direct my vote.
There you go.
But in that, and speaking to that, I've seen videos on TikTok from black women who were defending Barack Obama, but also defending or now admonishing black men and saying, black men, get in line, because now Kamala Harris has given y'all been whining for so long about nobody doing anything specifically for black men. And black women is literally saying this. Black men have been whining for so long about nobody doing anything specifically for them. Now Kamala Harris has this plan for you all. Now shut up, get in line and vote. That's not going to get nobody to vote for you. Like you can't, like, why do you all think, for those who think that, why do you think you talking junk into your phone and posting it to social media gonna make people go to the polls and vote the way you want them to vote? So you said your piece. Now what? Make me.
It's not about that, Joe. And I know you know, but for those people that don't know, it's like PC says it all the time. It's the disrespect. It's the art. In this case, shall we say the lack of respect?
Yeah, but that's not going to make people vote the way you want them to vote. You're dumb.
the goal ain't to make people do nothing. The goal is to be a part of the choir so that they could say they was a part of the choir. The
Okay.
goal is to be publicly on the right side of history. You know what I'm saying? The goal is to, like, the goal really is to show everybody this is my hand. Like, you know, it's like we playing poker and they think they got a winning hand. This is my hand.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't care what you do, but this is what I got.
But also the idea that we like the idea that we have to vote the way that Black women vote. And if we don't, then we're against Black people and we're against democracy, we're against liberty, we're against freedom. We support racism if you vote against the Democrats and against Black people. When did the Democrat Party stand for freedom for Black people?
Well, I think that speaks to the hypocrisy of everything. To go back to what both of you have said, the mere fact that not supporting Kamala Harris makes you not Black.
Yeah.
But not supporting Cornel West is okay.
Right.
Speaks to like that speaks to the disdain, the hypocrisy,
the
ignorance, and the lack of respect. And you know, if I were to borrow a whole situation, phrase, purpose, tonation, and everything of speech from Obama, let me get in my stance. I think when I hear people not supporting Cornel West, it makes me think that there's a level of disdain for Black men. And I wonder why, you know. And so I just think that if it is that we're experiencing this sort of bigotry and misandry that will cause Black women to not want to support this Black man, I think that bothers me terribly. That really disturbs me, and I think we got to do better as a people.
Oh yeah, and remember, he said we lucky that they was lucky that Michelle wasn't there, because Michelle was gonna tear into us.
Oh, see, you didn't play that part.
Well, that wasn't a part of that clip, but that was the extended clip. He said, "You lucky Michelle ain't here." I mean, yeah, you right, Barack, you right.
No, he's not. He's lucky Michelle ain't there. I'm not scared of Michelle.
That's what, exactly. Exactly.
It would have been equal. He would have got more for bringing her there, but they both would have caught hell for that one.
Hey, you know she at the house looking at him like, damn, why you did that?
No, it was started off like this.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
No, Barack is lucky Michelle wasn't there.
Hey man, look here. But so looking at this document, right? It's a 9-page document, but looking at some of the important points. So this goes into saying, drawing on insights from her experience talking about Kamala Harris through her career and her economic opportunity tour. Because remember, this is all about her having a opportunity economy, whatever that means. So Vice President Harris is laying out an opportunity agenda for Black men to provide them with the tools to achieve financial freedom, lower costs to better provide for themselves and their families, and to protect their rights. This path-breaking agenda includes: 1, remember, this is for Black men. This is an opportunity agenda for Black men.
Hey, Joe, hold on a second. You said path-breaking?
Yeah, path-breaking agenda.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I don't put my thinking cap on in my listening ears.
You see this highlighted right here? Path-breaking.
Yeah.
So for Black men, the first thing that they're going to do for Black men specifically is, 1, provide 1 million loans that are fully forgivable to Black entrepreneurs. Black entrepreneurs and others. To start a business. So this is the first thing in her agenda that she's going to do specifically for Black men, is make sure that there's 1 million, only 1 million loans that are fully forgivable for Black entrepreneurs and others. So Black men have to share their loans, the 1 million loans. We have to share the loans with other Black people, well, Black women and others.
So, with basically everybody.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm a match that. I'm going to match that. I'm going to provide 1 million loans for 1/10 of a penny to all Black entrepreneurs. The website is coming.
10th of a
you
penny.
can fill it out. Get you a tenth of a penny. We're gonna do that until we fund 1 million loans.
We got
We got of a penny.
We got shirts coming, 10th of a penny. So
tenthofApenny.com.
there you go. Number 2 is championing education, training, and mentorship programs that help Black men get good paying jobs and high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to become teachers. Championing education, training,
you know what,
programs.
I'm gonna support that one too. I'm gonna match that one too.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna match that one too.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna tell all of the Black kids that they could be great.
Hey, I'm gonna go outside and tell all my plants that they can grow.
Yeah. So hey, you champion it for the plants.
Yeah.
I champion it for the humans.
Well,
and we got the whole world covered. Well, PC,
well,
you got to champion it for the cats.
But I want to be specific
animals.
though. I want to be specific. This is only that black soil though. I'm only championing plants from the black soil. And PC only black cats.
Only black cats.
Yeah.
Only black cats.
Yeah.
That works. I got a black cat. I got 2.
So number 3 is supporting a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency and other digital assets. So Black men who invest in and own these are protected. They're going to support regulatory framework.
Okay, I'm gonna match that. Go ahead, PC.
How do you do that?
I'm just to support that. I'm gonna buy a knee brace and support my knee.
Yeah, I mean, she just said she was gonna support it. She didn't say she was gonna do it.
Language, people. Language matters. Language matters.
And then on top of that, how many Black people actually have the luxury of owning and engaging in cryptocurrency?
Right.
Exactly.
But I'm a match. Go ahead.
See, you're gonna get the money to put in the cryptocurrency after you get your one of those million loans. Then you have a loan. So
cryptocurrency. They always have their people earmarked, so they know exactly who they're giving those loans to. One.
Right.
So I'm gonna match that. If y'all get the pattern, y'all get the pattern. I'm gonna match that. Yeah. I am going to support all 100% of the Black trillionaires that exist in the world today. I'm going to support them by saying that I love you.
Okay. Hey, you just inspired me to support all my Facebook friends by make sure I like their post.
See, you being more realistic than me. I'm more
but still, because that's gonna put money in their pockets to help them go to college. Me liking their post.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think about the loans. Remember how last week we talked about thinking 35 years ahead rather than just a day ahead. See, I'm thinking 35 years. So if I hit that like button, then somebody's child gonna go to college.
I'm thinking 500 years ahead because it ain't no Black trillionaires right now, but it will be in 500 years. You're not on my level. Go ahead, PC.
Bluey. Number 4, launching a national health equity initiative focused on Black men that addresses sickle cell disease, diabetes, mental health, prostate cancer, and other challenges that disproportionately impact them.
No, thank you. We've had one Tuskegee experiment. That's enough.
I mean, but that's the best sounding one,
Man, what do you want to do? Are you going to improve like the way we get treated? We get treated like dogs when we go to the doctor. Yeah, our HIPAA rights are violated repeatedly. Typically speaking, with Black men's experiences is Halloween's coming, and that's good because Black men's experiences in doctors' offices and hospitals is a horror show. So
no, you mean tell me Black men have issues in horror stores and doctor offices too?
Nah, look, I think both of y'all are missing the point. The point is that she's going to launch a national health equity initiative. You know what I'm saying? She's going to initiate something by launching it, and then it's going to go into outer space where the carbon in space could match with the carbon in Black skin and make us all sovereign citizens. I'm gonna support that.
Hey, I'm out of space voting with my ace.
I'm gonna support that. This is what I'm gonna do to match that. I'm going to launch
Hey,
pee into the toilet as soon as the show
hey,
ends.
hey. But this last one is the best one. She's going to legalize recreational marijuana and create opportunities for black men to succeed in the new industry. Because you know how important it is for black men to have our weed. We got to smoke, bro.
Yeah,
Because I mean, think
because
about all the rappers that made songs about smoking weed, right? And then
95% of black people are weed heads, Joe.
I mean, think about how many black people you seen and you've been around that smelled like weed. Like almost most of the black people that I'm around don't smell like weed, but still think about how many
You're
black
not
people you
around
around that
real
smell
black
like weed.
people though, Joe.
But their skin don't the black on their skin don't come off. Oh, you talking
Well,
about
that
like I be around like Clarence Thomas, like non-black?
nah, well, one, how hard are you rubbing?
Oh,
But like then two though, like real black people. Well, first off, she called the weed industry, the marijuana industry, a new industry. So that like it's like it's not.
well, you know the legal marijuana is new.
No, that ain't new either.
See, Pat, you wanna bring facts. You want Angela Rice said we don't need details.
Okay. PC, you was finna say something.
Man, listen, man. I probably need to smoke a blunt after reading this. Man, because she had to be smoking a blunt. You'll write that one.
Hey, well, you know she was in college smoking, listening to Tupac before Tupac actually started making records.
I'm gonna go back to the fact that, and I had it written down last week, I think, but the Democratic Party has been practicing a policy of benign neglect ever since the Nixon administration. Prior to, but more so purposefully, since the Nixon administration. And hold on, because I got it right here, man. I'm tripping. I'm gonna go through my notes. That's why I take notes. What is his name? Okay, it's office hours.
Hey, no, I'm sorry, man. I'm just looking at these dates. Kamala, what, she was in the college in the 80s?
Yeah,
go ahead.
She's smoking weed, listening to Tupac in the 80s.
Yeah, it's like she enrolled in the Howard in 82. She was looking to Tupac Amaru, the Peruvian, the one from Peru. The Peruvian, that's what I mean. The original Tupac Amaru. That's what she listened to.
She never said what Tupac she was listening to.
True.
She just said she was listening to
Just
Tupac.
that she was in the dorm room smoking, listening to Tupac.
Yeah. Hold on for a second, man.
Hey, that's wild, man.
Like, I don't know. I do know. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying not to slander this woman of color too heavy. But every time I see her do something, I see panderer. And that last point was like all of the other ones just be written off as she think we stupid. The last one was offensive to me.
Yeah, I mean, but starting out the gate. So providing 1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000 to black entrepreneurs and others who have historically faced barriers to starting a new business or growing an existing business.
And that's offensive.
Trusted organizations like mission-driven lenders and banks with proven commitment to their communities. I mean, but remember, she's already said that she's not going to do anything specific for black people. So just because she put out this plan, nobody should go forward thinking that, okay, this is what Kamala is going to do specifically for black people. Like black women, y'all defending her. She ain't going to do nothing specific for you either. The ones who are defending her.
They black women want proxy, they want proxy fame off of this situation. They want status upgrade, and for her to be considered a black woman and become president is a huge boost in the status for black women. That's the main once again, identity politics. But I want to point out something too. Edward Monahan, the one who wrote the infamous Monahan report, which talked about the racial disparities in America. He himself came up to Richard Nixon, and during his presidency, he said the best way to deal with Black people's issues is to ignore them. And so, when the Democratic convention was here in 2016, the first thing they said, and I'm gonna get something else clear too. Black men started leaving the Democratic Party at the second Obama administrative run. That's when they started leaving. It wasn't when he got first. It wasn't his last election. I mean, the last year. It was when Trump ran against Hillary. It was the one before where Black men had started walking away because we seen that it wasn't for us. So when we talk about the benign neglect policy in 2016 here in Philadelphia, it was leaked to the press that the Democratic Party would not address any, they call them Black Lives Matter or concerns of the Black community, that they would only say, we're listening to you and we hear you. That was their policy back then. Another stance on benign neglect, more so focused on identity politics rather than tangibles and policies that we needed to upgrade. Ever since then, the Black community has been in more strife than ever before, financially, economically, and so forth. People are seeing their grocery bills double. This stuff right here is nothing more than they've been doing. Kamala already came out and said that she was when they asked her if she would have done anything differently than Biden that had done in the last 4 years, she said nothing comes to mind. In addition to that, Biden was asked how impactful was she in his policy. He said she was involved in everything. And when you see his mental state, you can honestly probably say she was the main one. Yeah. She was the buck stopped with her.
Well, it goes back to what Trump and everybody else has been saying. If you wanted to do this stuff, you would have already done it. The whole administration. If you wanted to do it, it would have already been done. You wouldn't have to try to say, we want to try to do this now. It would have already been done.
Yeah.
So who you think you're talking to?
And so, go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, PC, because you've been quiet and I know you want to cook. I'm trying to eat. Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Boys, I'm just playing.
It's that was wild and crazy. This is this whole election has more global impact than we understand. See, we know things from what's happening on these borders, but globally speaking, there is and I've been paying attention to several pundits who've been really making some good points and being able to fact check it really clarifies a lot of things that I've often studied in the past, but it would have been considered like a conspiracy. So you have a global network of people who pretty much influence power all over the world. They go to the Brentworks conference, Bilderberger groups, and we know them as those who go to hang out in Bohemian Grove, running around butt naked in the woods, and no women are allowed. So we know that, we have those power brokers all meeting up in place and also at Diddy parties, right? So one of the things that is being painfully obvious, considering who is supporting Kamala Harris, is you have the Clintons. You also have, the man who's been identified as the most evil man on the planet, Dick Cheney. They call that man Darth Vader, and he wears that proudly. So when you look at all those people, and I already brought up George Soros, who's involved in international and global affairs in terms of how nations and governments run. He was the one that was identified as being part of, or the major reason for the Brexit. That is the British exiting the euro.
The European Union.
European Union. So, in addition to all that, so when you look at the people that's behind her, and then you look at all of these attacks and assassination attempts on Donald Trump, then it was another one this past week. Somebody was literally hanging outside of an event that he was going to. Like, first of all, how do they have access to all these places and insight to all these places, right?
Well, what we say the first assassination attempt, the Secret Service. What they doing?
I think it's bigger than that though. And because when you think about it, Trump is the only one that's not clicked in. Kamala's clicked in with this group. So it doesn't matter to them whether a Democrat or a Republican wins the election. The global agenda takes place: war, famine, and global dominance in the battle of the powers of the major powers in the world. Well, Trump, and I've told people this before, Trump is really not a Republican. He's just running on a Republican ticket. And actually, him being in the Republican ticket is a big FU to the Democrats anyway, because Trump was a Democrat 10 years ago.
Trump is a Democrat now.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. That was supposed to stay in my head.
So when you think about like what's happening, there's a lot of moving pieces going on that, the chessboard is in motion right now. And a lot of moving pieces are going on right now. And it's not only that, you have the global powers are realigning, and it's turning into a thing where like you go to the PNAC, right? The Plan for a New American Century that was produced as a document similar to Project 2025. But this one was a bunch of plutocrats, right? You had Dick Cheney, Henry Kissinger, Zbigniew Brzezinski, amongst many other authors of this document. And one of the things they said was the Plan for New American Century focused on American global military dominance. And one of the things that you need for that is because there were no wars at the time. They tried to create a war. They tried to create a bad guy with Saddam Hussein. They couldn't get it done. They said, we need to have another Pearl Harbor event. 2 years later, 3 years later, you have 9/11. And the first thing that Henry Kissinger said during an interview was, well, this is our current Pearl Harbor. How are we going to respond to this? And an interview right after the buildings fell. So, this stuff is bigger, a lot bigger sometimes. So Kamala Harris, while the original reason Obama didn't want Kamala Harris in office is because he was concerned about the downvote in the Democratic Party. He wanted to make sure that the Democrats got the best opportunities for all the people who were on that ticket in different states, in different cities, that they would receive the benefit of the doubt of a presidential vote, that with people going down party lines, their people would get in. In the global group are more concerned about what's happening right now. And we're on the brink of World War III. If you pay attention to the brush fires, if you pay attention to everywhere in the country and in the world that's on fire. And so just the same way Kamala Harris has not been in charge of her public speaking engagements, she's not been in charge of this whole social construct of who she is in the narratives of who she is. You clearly see she's reading from a script. The same people that's feeding her this script are going to be the same people that's going to be in charge if she gets elected. They already know that. So in the process of doing that, they know that they'll be able to maintain their freedom to do as they will in terms of the global monopolies that they play, the global game of Monopoly that they're playing. They can't do that with Trump because Trump is not clicked in. And the last time Trump was in office, he shut a lot of international stuff down. He left the World Health Organization and was talking about leaving NATO.
Hey, see, Kamala Harris is gonna help black men get bank accounts.
Way to bring us back, Joe.
I'm just saying. Like, that's what she say, man. Black men need bank accounts. So they're gonna make sure black men got bank accounts, man, because we expanding access to bank accounts and lending to help black men build wealth. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it ain't enough black men with bank accounts. So we got to have bank accounts, man.
Well, since we
I just wanted to say that because it was on my mind. I couldn't let it go.
No, I think to address some of what PC said and to address my outburst, I think the reason I say Trump is a Republican or is a Democrat now is because I remember what PC is talking about, and it's a well-known clip now. Democrats use it all the time to vilify Republicans. That clip of Trump saying, I'm a Democrat, but if I was ever to run, I'd probably run Republican because they're so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
And then you look at the type of Republican Trump has become. Trump is very much in character. Like he's a caricature of a Republican. He is running as a Republican
Very
in the
entertaining.
same light that Democrats see Republicans. Like he is essentially being a white person pretending to be black. And so I think like that part, that's part of the thing that makes him so easy to vilify for Democrats and also so hard to deal with is because to properly deal with Trump, you have to be able to properly understand and assess your own views about this whole other part of the country. And Democrats largely live in the land of delusion. They don't want to do that. But then there is this component of the threat that Trump poses to the global power structure. And that's where it gets to be interesting because you see so many black people that are saying, F the global power structure, F the world, F this, F that. In theory, they should be supporting Trump because he is a destabilizing figure. But they don't because he is a destabilizing figure. So it gets to be real interesting watching the way people spin and trip. And then it ties into this whole Kamala Harris thing. Kamala Harris has not presented anything of any meaning or substance that would make you say she's the person I want to vote for outside of her Indian mother raised her and her daughter to be black women in Canada. That is the only thing she said that
Middle
might
class.
have
Middle class.
middle class. She saved up after graduating from college, something that only 20% of black people do. And I think her mother ended up with an advanced degree, right? Yes.
In Canada.
Yes. And her father also is an advanced degree holder. Yes.
Who lives 2 blocks
even
from
if right, who lives 5 minutes away from her current office and has yet to speak to her or about her in public. But that man is supposedly her only tie to the black community, and she refuses to engage with him, which, you know, that it might actually be true that he's black because coincidentally, she also refuses to engage with black people. But in any ways, in any shape, in any fashion and form, it just becomes interesting that I think the click thing, and a lot of people, like you can agree or disagree with what PC said. I think the general dynamics of it can't really be refuted when you look at it from the standpoint of Trump is a destabilizing figure. And Kamala Harris is very much clicked in every way, shape, form, or fashion possible. And that her being clicked in has forced her into our view in the way that she's being forced in. Kamala Harris, if she gets voted in as president, will be the only president in modern history that only had to win one election on her way to the White House.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. But so I do think Trump is a wild card. I do think Trump is the monkey, one of the monkey wrenches in the system as far as the whole politics going on. But you know, it might be the conspiracy theory in me, but the conspiracy theorist in me, but you know, to actually become a president of the United States, you got to be down. You do got to be down. But I do get what y'all saying in the angle of he's not the regular Republican. He's not the regular politician. He's not the regular thing because it's Donald Trump.
Yeah. And let me, because you,
I know y'all understand that.
Yeah, and it's not to say that Donald Trump isn't clicked in because you don't get to those levels of wealth without being clicked in. His father was clicked in.
Right.
His father is what clicked the whole family in. Donald Trump's connection to the clique, I think, is tenuous right now because Donald Trump is Donald Trump, but he's still very much connected.
Right.
He's not the preferred choice, though, is what I think I'm getting at. He's not. And to be clear to this, I am not a Trump supporter.
None of us
start jumping on him.
None of us
not
are.
a Trump supporter. Yeah, and I think that's important to say. My beef is with the Democratic Party because they have been historically historically bad, stupid, ignorant, and stupid, and dumb and stupid with the way that they do things.
I mean, of course, people hear what they want to hear, but we're all three of us are on camera and it's recorded, it's on record of us saying that we don't support either party and that people should make an informed decision about who they vote for, no matter who it is, no matter what it is. But of course, people gonna hear what they want to hear and say what they want to say. But we're on record saying that we don't support either party. So, but
yeah, we have. But for some people, if your only weapon, if your only tool is a hammer, then everything has to be a nail. So the majority of people can't defend why they are following the Democratic Party at this point, or Kamala, without reverberating the same talking points about demonizing the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And because it's quite, it's sad because it speaks to and I don't think it speaks to a lack of intelligence. I think it speaks to cognitive dissonance to a level and to a degree that is unheard of, because it's right in your face. The disrespect is right in your face. And sometimes you got to go through hard times just to let people know that they can't keep playing in your face. And if they're having an election where the Republicans win in a landslide and they dial all the 1964 and 68 Civil Rights Act acts back and things of that nature, then so be it. Because the Democrats have to know they have to earn your vote. Didn't Kamala say she was going to earn black men's vote? Well, get out there and earn our vote. Because honestly speaking, for the people running, this is just a damn job. They're not doing this for country and God. This is a job. This is a move up. This is another notch in their career. So if you want the job, then show the people who are going to employ you, people you're supposed to serve, show them that you're worthy.
There you go.
But can't do that in 32 days.
Hey, man.
32. It's less than that now.
Better work hard. But what's interesting, though, even in this plan for black men that Kamala, her people put together, some of the tactics in it is talking about, well, Trump wants to do this and Trump wants to do that and Trump wants to do this. You all wasted like space on this. Just tell us what you're going to do. But when you start off, if the first thing you're doing is telling us that you are giving money to black entrepreneurs and others, and they're playing specifically for black men, and then you filibustering through it by telling us what Donald Trump is going to do this and Donald Trump is going to do that. No, tell us what you're going to do for us specifically. Because this plan, you can take it back because it's not specifically for black men. It's another one of those Democratic things where this is a plan just for people, period, or Americans, period. And some of this stuff in there you can't even really do.
But it wasn't a plan. Van Jones said it was a love letter to black people, to black men.
Say it again. Who said it?
Van Jones said it to black men. Mama Kamala, we say Kamala can be Kamala to black men.
The same man who always on TV crying because white people did something.
It's funny because like we just keep doing it. Her Indian mother raised her to be a black man. I'm sorry.
A black
woman in Canada. And now she can be married to a white man and write a love letter to black men.
Yep.
And maybe my thinking is too simple and unadvanced in terms of, but this is my brother's keeper.
Hey, but remember, this is also the same party where you got AOC and Ilhan Omar talking about white men are the problem, white men are the issues in America, but they are also married to the white men. So this is consistent with this party.
Which again goes to the fact that this party is having an identity crisis because there are too many identities in this party.
All I know is
the Democratic Party is schizophrenic.
All I know is we're not dumb. The finger wagging, of course, we're not going for the finger wagging. But if the finger wagging was in an attempt to sabotage the campaign, because Obama don't really want Kamala there anyway, then, you know, I ain't seen that. What y'all saw? I ain't seen that.
I saw it. I saw a non-black American man sabotaging a non-black American woman. And I don't see your problem.
That's why I ain't seen that. So yeah. But hey, man, you know how I go, man. But that's why I love these conversations, because it's more than just emotional, it's more than just surface deep. Like, we really dig into these things and get to thinking about it and put stuff on the table. Don't be afraid to say it, even if we right or wrong. Hey, just put it on the table. Let's think about it. So y'all give us y'all thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? Did Obama do this on purpose? Is this a sabotage job, or is Obama really wagging his finger at black men to make sure that black men go vote for Kamala? I mean, either way, it's interesting that we're here at this point in time in politics and being able to witness all of this, the debacle of the Democratic Party, the idiocy of the Republican Party, the trying to come up of the Green Party, and Cornel West, you know, they out there. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, they're trying to come up.
And the jumping out the window of Pastor Simmons.
Jumping out the window like I'm Pastor Simmons. Hey, man, shout out to all the pastors who cheat on their wives. Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones, FetLifeStation.com, ThePax.org, OnTheShoulders1.com. Make sure y'all continue to support Pat. Pat's still doing his work in the homeschool co-op. They working in Charlotte. PC still working with the kids in the street in Philly. I got my Black History School going. So all the support that you give us is going to us helping and work to the work that we do in our communities to help improve our community. So we appreciate you all, and let's keep this thing going on. See y'all next time.
We got a private school too now.